Hi, my name is Dr. Jenkins.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. All right, what's your child's name?
Fernando.
Fernando. Okay, a strong name.
Yeah.
What's your child, or what's your name?
Noe.
Okay. Noe. And what is the relationship to the child?
Parent.
Yours. Okay, parent. What's the sex of your child?
Male.
Okay. Always one of those questions you gotta ask.
Yes.
All right. Child's birth date?
10/14/2012.
10/14. Oh. All right. Now this is gonna be an assessment that measures the daily living skills that your child has and the individual skills that he has to like take care of him as well, take care of himself.
Okay.
Okay. And the scoring for this is gonna be in regards to 0 being he's unable to do it by himself, and 1 being that he's able to do it 1 out of 4 times, and then 2 being that he's able to do it 2 out of 4 times, and then 3 being he can complete that task independently,
Okay.
so he doesn't need any help from anybody. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. We'll start off with the first category, okay? This first category is going to be in regards to activities of daily living, in regards to self-care, and it's going to be in regards to dressing, such as pulling off of a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. Can you do that independently with assistance? Or?
Yeah. He can do that by himself.
Okay. Is he able to pull off, put on a t-shirt? Put on or pull off a t-shirt? Because the first one was to take off a pull-on t-shirt, but the second one is can you actually put on a pull-off t-shirt?
Oh yeah.
Pull-on t-shirt.
Yes.
Okay. And does he require any help with that?
No.
Okay. Is your child able to put on a button shirt? Like, is it able to fasten all the little individual buttons as well?
Sometimes.
Okay. All right. And is he able to put on a jacket? Like, not having the fasteners included, like, just put the arms through the sleeves of a jacket?
Yeah.
Okay. And is he able to zip up a jacket?
Sometimes. No.
Okay. And is he able to take off, elastic waisted pants or shorts, like sweats or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will do that.
All right. Now, is he able to put on elastic shorts, like or sweatpants?
Yes.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. And is he able to put on jeans and manage the fasteners, like put on the pants and actually put in the little button? A lot of difficulty?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a lot of difficulty or like somewhat?
Somewhat. Like I have to help him, so it's like somewhat.
Okay. Okay. And is he able to put on belts and fasteners?
No.
No?
Okay. Somewhat.
Okay. Does he require like a lot of help, or is he not able to at all?
He requires help.
Okay. All right. And is he able to take off socks? Like take off the socks and okay. Is he able to put on the socks?
Yeah, pretty easy. Those are
okay. Now is he able to take off shoes? Like take off his shoes, like just yeah.
Yeah, take off shoes. Yeah, he's able to take them off, no problem.
Okay, and is he able to put on shoes, like without so much like having the?
He's only able to put on like the Velcro ones.
Okay. All right. Now is he able to? Okay, he puts on that. And does he usually do it independently, or does he require a little bit of help?
Independently, no assistance.
Okay. Is he able to put on and tie shoes?
So, like, it's very rare.
Very rare? Okay. Now, is he able to put on underwear?
Yes.
Okay, can you take off underwear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, is he able to choose clothing that's appropriate for the time of the day and the time of the season? Like
sometimes. No,
okay.
No,
requires a little bit of help, somewhat help, or a lot of help?
Just sometimes he needs help, but
okay.
Not a lot of help.
Yeah, kids can be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Does your child require adjusting of clothing? Like, can they adjust their clothing appropriately? Like, if they need a belt, like, because their pants are a little loose. Okay. All right. And obtaining clothes from a storage unit or a storage area, like a closet or whatnot, can they get the materials out of a closet?
Yeah, he's able to get all this stuff.
Okay. Now, does your child have access? Now, these categories are going to be in relation to hygiene and grooming.
Okay.
So this one is going to be in regards to accessing a sink and obtaining grooming supplies. Do you believe that they can do all these? Like, get the materials that they need to groom themselves? Like the brush, the nail clippers, like gel?
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
And does your child usually wash, rinse, and dry his hands pretty well?
Yes.
Okay. What about their face?
Not really. It's rarely.
A little bit of difficulty? Okay.
Yeah.
Rarely. All right. Now, in regards to completing nose care, like, does your child usually blow their nose well, or do they not? Usually?
Sometimes.
They require a lot of help?
No,
Or
not a lot of
bit?
help, just a little bit.
Okay. All right, and brushing hair, like this isn't including knots or anything. Is it just regular brushing without any resistance? Can they do that, or do they not do that, or they do it never?
They can do it.
They can,
brush,
but
yeah.
they don't. Okay.
They can brush their hair, yeah.
Okay. Now, when usually they have like tangles or knots.
It's short hair, so I would say he has no problem with it.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say he has a problem with it.
Okay. Let's put.
Yeah.
And I'll put 3. And then in regards to Styles' hair, like usually he has like a little preference.
Yeah,
like
a little
spike
bit.
it or...
Yeah, a little bit because he has a short hair, but yeah.
Okay. As long as signature touch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now in regards to toothpaste and like preparing the toothbrush and like to brush teeth, can you do that efficiently?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes he has difficulty with it, but most of the time he's okay. But like I would say, sometimes yes, sometimes no. So.
Okay. And can you usually brush his teeth as well? Like the first one was in regards to preparing.
It's probably less. I would say less than what he can do when he prepares it.
Okay. And how about spitting out toothpaste? Can you do?
Yes.
All right. Now, can your child spit out toothpaste?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can your child safely use mouthwash?
Sometimes.
Requires a little bit of assistance?
A little bit, yeah.
Or a lot?
No, a little bit.
Okay. Now, can your child floss his teeth efficiently?
Not really.
Okay. Now, can your child cut, clip, or work their toenails, like file them down?
No, not really.
Okay. Now, can your child apply deodorant?
We don't buy him deodorant, so no, I don't. I wouldn't think he knows how to. So.
Okay. Now, can your child remove body hair?
Not body hair anymore.
Like using tweezers and whatnot?
No,
okay,
he doesn't have any body hair.
Okay. Can your child tolerate haircuts?
He can.
Okay. Can you obtain soap and other hygiene products on like the bath shower?
He knows where to get
like
it.
soap, bar soap.
No problem.
Right. Can you get into and out of a bath or shower?
Yeah,
like
we've had no problems.
Okay. And can you wash, rinse, and dry his body well? Okay. Can you maintain a safe body position while bathing and showering, like so that not in a risky position that everybody might slip? Okay. All right, and that will conclude the interview.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.
My interpretation for the reel, I believed that, and the individual named Carlos, I believed that this individual had impairments in regards to grooming and hygiene skills, were shown to be the lowest percentage in all of the individual categories, that percentages in scores that were received in relation to total possible scores for that given category. So in regards to percentages, like grooming and hygiene were shown to be the lowest. So in regards to the lowest categories within grooming and hygiene, I found that there was brushing, spitting of toothpaste was shown to be high, but toothbrushing was shown to be low, as well as applying deodorant and removing of body hair. So when you combine, and flossing of teeth was also shown to be in deficit. So these individual areas were various occupations that were most noticeable in hygiene and grooming that I believe should be addressed in order to remediate deficits that might be perceived as low self-esteem and poor hygiene, and can translate into bigger problems in the future if not corrected now. So in order to remediate these impairments, like these identified impairments that are impacting occupations in regards to activities of daily living, so in regards to self-management and personal hygiene, I believe that the treatment that should be used is in regards to working on doing flossing initially in the very beginning, and trying to work on getting to building up the pattern of like to go around to every individual tooth trying to work on getting the pad the floss, stringing it around your finger, using the actual more commonly used and more economical method of flossing with 2 fingers and trying to get each individual tooth, and starting with that process and then transitioning into using a soft bristled toothbrush so that you can work on trying to increase the sequence of the pattern with the gradual idea that you're going to decrease the cues and what was it, modifications made to the toothbrush in the future. But right now, you would try to use possibly hand over hand and a softer toothbrush to adapt the equipment so that the client can be more engaged in the activity and want to participate more or be more compliant in wanting to participate in the activity. And as a result, you would try to develop this pattern so that each individual tooth would be more reached more frequently, and the sequence at which all the individual teeth are brushed is more uniform, as opposed to only this region being met and not the back region. So you try to get more of a uniform approach and increase the sequence. So that would be the first part, where you would try to do hand over hand if needed to work on brushing if the soft bristle brush was not shown to be enough of an accommodation made. Also, was it prompting cues to correct the sequence and steps needed to go deeper and reach more of the back molars to get a more uniform approach. Now, this will be worked on to improve more of oral hygiene, and then you can also try to incorporate spitting, which the client has shown to be already efficient in doing, and of scoring a rank of 3, and you could translate into also possibly doing overarm deodorant application to have building up a morning routine. Then that would be possibly the first beginning portion of the therapy session, with transitioning into working on finger dexterity and trying to work on buttoning up a shirt and buttoning down a shirt. Now, these different buttoning up, like donning and doffing with buttoning, is going to be graded on by button size and number of buttons per individual individual costumes that you would use. So the last therapy session or last observational session that I had conducted about 3 years ago, I saw that there was a wide assortment of individual clothes that they had that kids could like put on and dress up as, such as like a fireman or like a cowboy. And the idea is that you could work on putting those like little costumes on, and then they have different buttons. And like, let's say you have a cowboy costume that most of the time it's only a vest, so you could have like 4 buttons or 3, and they're sometimes somewhat large to a degree. So it's just simple 1, 2, 3, and you're done. So, or it'd be 1, 2, 3, and you're done. And then you could have the client engage in more of finger dexterity activities and building by using like a water gun and having the individual like shoot all objects outside, not inside. But if you had to do it inside, you could probably use possibly a Nerf gun that would not be harmful to others, but would allow for the client to pretend to be like a Westerner and trying to get individual targets that you had placed around the building, which is kind of like a scavenger combination and allows for the client to explore and have fun with it. And then that would be for only about 2 to 3 minutes, because it is a quick activity, and with most of the time being spent searching. But it's meant to get him motivated to wanting to do those other things that he might be interested in. And if not, then you could transition after the 2 to 3 minutes, then you could transition back to the original spot where you put the clothes on, take it off. That's another activity that works on finger dexterity. And on top of the already shooting of the Nerf gun, as you have right here, and You could also emphasize working on using both hands to shoot, as such like that, with working on both fingers and increasing the finger dexterity. So you try to teach them to do it that way as opposed to just using one hand and having that as an effective treatment. So that would be just for one activity to work on finger dexterity, and then you can transition into a firefighter suit, which might have a couple more buttons, and then you could have the client go outside and work on making spraying water into outside as a method of a fire drill, possibly, and maybe work on fire hazard signs, possibly spraying onto a wall and on the side of a building where it'll just dry up, with heat, and have them try and make a shape with the main idea focusing on, once again, building up finger dexterity. And these individual activities would therein increase the client's ability to grasp objects and improve fine motor coordination, which might which will effectively be useful in trying to help the individual with their second impairments, which was an area that was shown to be at 76% of the total options and percentages in dressing skills, which was dressing skills, where the largest occupations that were shown to be impacted were in regards to fasteners, because the client was shown to be able to put on clothes and take off clothes, but when it came to managing the fasteners, the client had difficulty in being able to do this. Now, when it came to putting on jeans and managing fasteners, they had a score of 1, and putting on belts and fasteners was also shown to be at 1. So finger dexterity was shown to be poor in these both regards. That's why I would want to work on finger dexterity as well, because it would increase independence and would allow the client to possibly be able to transition and apply that skill into further independence in other areas. So being able to make more effective choices on clothing that they desire to, and being more independent without having to rely on the parent for a lot more facilitation in their daily routine. Now, the primary goal though, I would want to focus on would be hygiene and grooming, and which would be initially done in the beginning, as we stated. And just to reiterate though, for that beginning portion of the treatment, you would want to make sure that you do that twice. Floss the teeth, brush the teeth, spit the toothpaste out, and then redo it one more time, so that it's more of a repetitive pattern. If the client doesn't want to do it, then you could try to more of reinforce toothbrushing into the routine, so that they build up more of a sequence pattern. But if they are consistently shown to be against it, then just do it for one routine. Now, this is probably going to require a lot of cues and prompting, so you're going to want to make sure, and modification of equipment to be appropriate to the client as they feel preference to using, and with gradual reducing of modifications and cues to increase independence in the future. Now, for the long-term and short-term goals, I believe that the client will floss and brush teeth with minimal assist, or for the long-term goal, the client will floss and brush teeth with a regular toothbrush, not modified, for 2 minutes with minimum assist upon discharge. And for the short-term goal, the client will demonstrate increased toothbrushing sequence with minimum assist within 2 weeks. So these are the two goals that I would want to approach with. Mainly, the client will demonstrate increased toothbrushing sequence with minimum assist within 2 weeks. That will be with the use of a adapted toothbrush, so that it shows that the client's meeting that sequence of actually reaching all teeth and demonstrating that they actually have achieved that skill of being able to reach with their assistive device. So that will be the short-term goal that will be met, with the long-term goal being that they will be able to demonstrate both flossing and brushing with no assistive devices or modifications, with minimum cues to correction, but upon discharge. So that is the general goal of trying to increase oral hygiene and independence. So that is going to conclude my full evaluation and treatment and administration and goals as a whole. So thank you for your time and have a good night.